In the Philippines, there are two kinds of winds and seasons that occur in the country every year. They are Northeast Monsoon, or also known as Hanging Amihan, and Southwest Monsoon, or also known as Hanging Habagat. In this video, we'll focus on the Southwest Monsoon. What is Southwest Monsoon? When, where, and how does it occur? And how does it affect crops, livestock, ruminants, and poultry? Southwest monsoon is a natural weather pattern that usually occurs in the western part of the Luzon and Visayas that carries warm, moist winds. It is characterized by frequent heavy, long-lasting rainfall and often turns to dangerous typhoons. Monsoon occurs when the air moves toward a place where warm air is rising. This is now called the low-pressure area. Meanwhile, where cold air sinks is called the high-pressure area. There is more relative energy in the higher pressure area, so it moves toward the low pressure area. During the southwest monsoon, the high pressure area is in the Australian continent and Indian Ocean, and the low pressure area is in the North China, Mongolia, and Siberia. The warm and moist wind travel towards the western coast of the Philippines usually occurs every year from the month of May to September. As the wind above the sea surface becomes warmer, it rises up in the atmosphere, causing a cloud formation that results to low pressure area. When the low pressure area rotates rapidly, this becomes a typhoon and gets stronger when a lot of air is accumulated over the sea, calling it the moisture. One of the positive effects of southwest monsoon to agricultural crops is the rain that is yearly required for agricultural crops. But it has also negative effects, such as while the rain may ease farmers to irrigate the rice fields, the heavy rainfall may trigger strong winds, floods, landslides, and soil erosion that can wash away the crops and can have that nutrient leaching, including the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and sodium. The frequent heavy rainfalls and moisty winds may also trigger pests and diseases that can also affect the crop production. And this crop production may lead to a lesser or a reduction on yield of agricultural crops. According to data from the Department of Agriculture, due to flooding triggered by rains brought by the southwest monsoon, agricultural damage climbed to 27.28 million. This includes the volume of production lost at 928 metric tons across 1,303 hectares of agricultural areas and affected 1,490 farmers. The most affected commodities include rice, high-value crops, and livestock. However, as for livestock, ruminants, and poultry, one of the positive effects of southwest monsoon is that the frequent southwest monsoon rains is a source of storage water for animals. Like animals cannot go and earn their food as they grow at one place, after some time the nutrients around them will deplete. Rains bring those nutrients as a bonus other than irrigated. On the other hand, the negative effects are that due to the weather, it destroys the animals' man-made habitat, and animals are particularly susceptible to illnesses and diseases during rainy periods due to the cold, lack of warmth, and sometimes even mistakenly feeding them grasses or feeds that are already moldy due to the weather that can lead to more diseases. Plus, they are more prone to parasites, resulting to large losses of production, such as dairy production, meat production, and egg production. Despite the fact that we now know what and how habagat affects agriculture, the crops and livestock that provide our livelihood and our food supply are still more negatively impacted than the benefits it brings. Now that we have learned and answered the questions earlier about southwest monsoon, let us not forget that it is so important to be aware of the positive impacts of southwest monsoon, and it's not bad to avoid the negative impacts it brings. We just have to be smart and learn from it. Let's take care of nature. Let's take care of agriculture.